This was a black man. In the African-American community, that was a triumph.
Jackson was also earning a very strange reputation. The National Enquirer published a picture of Michael apparently sleeping in an oxygen chamber. Jackson soon became the tabloid's #1 target, but the papers didn't report the most bizarre angle of all.
My understanding is that story was set up by his manager at the time. Michael was interested in being in the Enquirer because his good friend Elizabeth Taylor was appearing in the Enquirer all the time.
National Enquirer reporter Michael Glynn sometimes spoke to a Jackson intermediary while covering the superstar.
He said, yeah, I'd like you to come see me. Michael would like us to talk about some various things that he's interested in having in the Enquirer. One of them was certainly Michael's interest in buying the bones of the Elephant Man, somebody who people would look at and stare at and talk about and pay to see, but he was also a freak who was very lonely.
Glynn's story on Jackson and the Elephant Man cemented Michael's oddball rep. The press began calling him Wacko Jacko.
Michael Jackson would hit the airwaves and say, "Isn't that stupid?" Well, where do you think the newspaper got the picture? From your PR people.
Much of what he does is cynically designed to affect our opinion of him. But unfortunately, he's so narcissistic that he has a tin ear for those things that will scandalize us when we hear them.
What disturbs me is when some of the journalists and the media people call him these names. Freak, wacko, jacko, all this kind of stuff. I mean, come on. They should lay off, really. He's a good guy, and he's my brother.
Eccentrics like Greta Garbo, P.T. Barnum, and Howard Hughes also fascinated Jackson. He took a page from Hughes' paranoia playbook by wearing surgical masks in public.
A British journalist told me that they were out and Michael puts on a mask just as they're about to go out to meet, you know, this throng of reporters, and the guy says to Michael, "Why are you putting on the mask?" And Michael winks at him and says, "Just to give him the old razzle-dazzle."
But that might not have been Michael's only reason for hiding his face. Behind the surgical mask, Jackson's skin was undergoing an eerie transformation. Fans were shocked to discover that the black superstar seemed to be turning white.
The African-American community in general was concerned about what was going on with Michael.
Nobody wants to think of, you know, an artist, especially an artist that had had such a huge black following, kind of denying his heritage.
But he's still our man. He's still Michael Jackson. He's still an incredible entertainer, and he's still black.
In September 1987, Jackson's third solo album, Bad, hit music stores. The album stayed at #1 for 6 weeks and spawned a record-setting 5 straight #1 singles. Even so, Bad sold about 18 million fewer copies than Thriller.
I don't know if Michael Jackson could have produced anything, let alone Bad, that would have met both the artistic and the commercial expectations set by Thriller.
Jackson set out to give Bad a boost. For the first time in his life, Michael launched a solo tour.
I think that was the way he felt like he could reclaim the glory of Thriller, you know, was to get out on the road again. You know, and those were strong shows.
But fans weren't just interested in Jackson's music. Michael's freak appeal also soared. Some journalists describe Michael as a plastic surgery addict. However, in a 2003 interview, Jackson admitted to having only 2 plastic surgeries.
Who knows why somebody changes their face? Who are we to judge? We can't know what goes on inside him, what he's trying to escape, and who he's trying to become.
In March 1988, Jackson spent $17 million on a 2,700-acre ranch in the Santa Ynez Valley of Southern California. Jackson named the estate Neverland in honor of his favorite book, Peter Pan. In the story, Neverland is the home of the Lost Boys, boys who won't grow up.
It's kind of like his own private Disneyland, in a sense. It's not just what's there, you know, the rides, the zoo, you know, all the animals, the arcade games, the candy, but it's the spirit of the place. It's the magic.
He owns all the high ground. You don't even look down on his place. The only way you can see his place, if you're not invited, is fly over in an airplane. He's got his own security department. He's got his own fire department. He's got his own water company. He's got his own landfill. You don't even go through his trash. You don't put his trash out.
Michael wrapped up the Bad Tour on January 27th, 1989 in Los Angeles. Jackson still had the magic.
Well, the Bad Tour was the most successful tour in history up until that point. I mean, Michael was making like $1 million a show at that time. This thing went on for 17 months, and he ended up playing for millions and millions of people.
Still, Michael announced an end to life on the road.
This probably shocked people because we knew him as this incredible entertainer. But Michael has always said, no one realizes what goes on when I'm up on stage. I mean, he probably loses about 5 pounds a night every time he goes on stage.
However, Jackson didn't hang up his glove completely. Sony bought CBS Records and its Epic division. In March 1991, execs signed Michael to an unprecedented 15-year, 6-album contract. The colossal multi-million-dollar deal included film and TV projects and made international headlines.
It was the biggest deal of its type, of its kind at the time.
The truth is that over a period of years, if everything worked out well and every album sold a huge amount of records, that it could possibly end up being worth $1 billion.
Michael's professional successes, however, were overshadowed by his personal choices. That June, Jackson appeared publicly with 10-year-old actor Macaulay Culkin. The two vacationed together in Bermuda and Disney World. In August, Michael hosted Culkin's 11th birthday party at Neverland.
Macaulay Culkin had all these problems at home. You know, his parents were never married. His father was a strict disciplinarian, you know, just dragging him from one audition to the other. And so the two of them connected.
Culkin was just one of many young guests Jackson hosted at Neverland.
The inner city kids and Make-A-Wish Foundation that came out on Saturdays on the bus, boy, those kids just really had a ball. They were so happy. I mean, you could just see it in their faces.
But Wegner's 20 years of experience put him on edge.
I brought my attention to the number of times children were staying in Michael's bedroom. And it was starting to bother me at first. I said, well, maybe it's poor judgment. Maybe that's just it. No. But it continued.
The children at Neverland Ranch are supervised on a 24-hour-a-day basis. He sleeps on the floor, and that's the way it's been, and that's the way it continues.
Meanwhile, Jackson's latest album, Dangerous, created a sensation in November 1991.
Around the world, you had pictures of people waiting outside record stores, waiting to get their hands on this record. People in Manila, people in Australia, people in England, people in Paris.
The album hit the charts at #1, and so did the single Black or White. But Dangerous still didn't match the success of Thriller, a setback for Jackson and Sony. Coming up, Peter Pan or pedophile?
If I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world.
By 1992, 34-year-old Michael Jackson needed to boost his record sales. That June, Jackson broke his vow to never go on the road again. He embarked on a world tour for Dangerous. Jackson sold out stadiums from Germany to Japan. In February 1993, Jackson interrupted his tour for a live primetime chat with Oprah Winfrey. His first television interview in 14 years. Michael told Oprah he didn't sleep in an oxygen chamber, suffered mistreatment as a child, and battled a rare skin disorder called vitiligo.
Well, vitiligo is a skin condition characterized by patches of hypopigmentation, that is, patches of skin which do not carry normal or, in essence, any pigmentation. Generally, the condition presents as patches, not as large uniform areas.
100 million viewers around the world watched the satellite broadcast. Album sales for Dangerous shot up, and Jackson hit the road again. But he couldn't outrun the ugly scandal that erupted back in California. On August 21st, the Los Angeles Police Department issued search warrants for Jackson's LA condominium and the Neverland Ranch.
It was on a Saturday, got beeped, and they said, LAPD's at the front gate, Bob, and they got a search warrant. So when I got there, they were already inside the ranch. So it took, they were probably there maybe 3 or 4 hours. And I remember LAPD telling me, well, this is going to be a sealed file. No one's going to know about it, you know, until we want them to. Well, the news press knew about it before they even left the ranch.
News cameras taped the cops hauling away some of Michael's private